Oh, switch into Odin. Look at that. Health is gonna be coming to his roots, as he is a Norse main. But he is also quite great with... I mean, like, he also knows to play Egyptians, for example. So he is, by this time, obviously multi-godder. But I'm fairly certain that he used to be like a Norse main. Like maybe 10 years ago already. But nonetheless, he's gonna be therefore going for Odin. And Sheltered Pass is gonna be the new one. With, apparently, some starting Elephantino.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Skipan?
Not too bad beginning currently for him. Huntinox, of course, immediately, but some kind of further hunt. Do we actually have that? Apparently rhinos. Will be some difficult food here all around with Hellstravich on the other side. He got himself an extra elephant, which is not too much of a bad choice. Because it's like 750. 750 is exactly what you get from Great Hunt, so he's gonna be getting the max out of it immediately. But I'll be probably keeping the second elephant in base anyway. For later, as we always say. Otherwise, people just like basically waste the god power, unfortunately. Should be keeping the safer food here for later. And then head forward into the rhinos. And let's maybe kind of showcase the full map in case you haven't seen it. It's... yeah, I think I've seen it like once maybe. In some of the previous tournaments. I don't think I've seen it too much. With plenty food in the middle, of course. No, I mean like there's tons of food everywhere practically here. Tons of food absolutely everywhere. With relic number 1 being Ship of Fingernails. Just in case you didn't have enough food from all of that. And Odin's Wand. Cheaper temple upgrades. Maybe curious for the Loki here. Can be getting cheaper. You should be getting cheaper Temple of Thanes. Or Temple of Thanes. A Hall of Thanes. Which is like 300 wood. So therefore you're gonna be saving 60 wood. Which is quite high. And it's also on the favor. But more importantly the wood. 60 wood is definitely a nice discount to be having in general. As you can see it now, therefore, some kind of extra news here. Plenty goats. But even the gold mines are gonna be therefore a bit challenging. Even though challenging, seems like it's not gonna be always the truth. Same time it's gonna be having very nice spawn on the left, easy wall in here to the front, and superb gold. And frankly, even the one to the right side is not too terrible. Because you can very easily just like drop a wall here as well. And then nobody is getting here to the right flank. That's gonna be under his control here in the front probably. Some further military buildings and maybe some hill fort, I don't know. Once we get into heroic. Could quite easily be the case. He's gonna be apparently already moving. Leaving 5 food here on the elephant. Didn't have to be leaving that, I guess. But it's gonna be very curious. I was going to say, how's gonna be the middle plate? If maybe there's not gonna be some will fight, but it looks like that actually Hellstravich is already posed for something quite a bit different. Okay, getting right about now. Hugin and Munin. As the 2 ravens going to scout. It's kind of a bit of a shame that we don't have the proper names with them. Just gonna get the text message. And that's practically it. Okay, that's the advance through Freya I'm expecting. Yes, of course. No, and soon we should be getting even some extra Hersiros going forward. With Symptom, he's gonna be having right now also the advance ready with Forset, which is not too delayed. I don't know, some 15 seconds, not too terrible. Just, it seems like it's gonna be all about the food in the middle, which Hellstravich, again, he's gonna be immediately taking the second elephant. I'm just gonna stand by the fact this is a mistake to do. He could have been easily going outwards, and then if he were raided somewhere, he could have just like easily fallen behind or fallen back to his base, and still would have been having 750 hunt in there. Would have been quite a bit excellent. Okay, first Berserker coming forward. Seems like it's gonna be a 1 temple build this time around. First Berserker coming forward as well from Hellstravich. Currently, he can be quite a bit easily really fighting this. There's no problem with that. That can go pretty well. That can go pretty well indeed. There we go. There's a bit of an interesting jump off that autocue, right? Yeah, I think it was. But well, whatever the case, you can see Gnabi just immediately having also the Valkyrie helping out with the fight. But with already 2 hearses around, it's not gonna be that simple, but still. Somewhat of a disruption could be in place and would be probably safer to send the villager exactly home. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad decision. currently by Symptom, but really the big problem is going to be that Symptom is gonna be having to pull all the armies for quite a bit of a distance. This is not really close at all, whereas Helsrevich is gonna be spawning straight into the middle of the hunt. This is really, no, simply good play, an advantage of having a forward build by Hels. And probably a bit of an unfortunate decision therefore by Symptom to be going that far away. He probably wasn't expecting Helsrevich to go for forward build because not too many people do it. Not really too many do. For example, Magyar did in the game that I put on YouTube. And the first one on his original account, but nonetheless. That's kind of like the only occasion. Sometimes somebody like Loki Macro, or if somebody wants to be having some good fun. But here in serious competitive games, it's really quite a bit uncommon to do something like this. Obviously right about now the Voobly fighting also by Symptom is gonna be having quite wild consequences. Because he shouldn't be having enough to be dropping too many Hersers or as many Hersers as you'll be otherwise wanting and needing. Now the Hersers are gone, gonna be down to only 2. It's not a good news. 33 pop limit for Symptom. Helsrevich is gonna be the same though. So it's not like it's too much better. But yeah, this is a toxic place currently for Symptom. He really needs to be falling back, maybe through Zebras through right flank here. Rhinos on the left side are gonna be fighting back, which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, there was even the forest fire a bit earlier. As they're focusing on the fight, which isn't going to be that much of a problem. There are still some huge wood lines that are gonna be helping out. It does slightly more expose the gold, but again, shouldn't be, I'm thinking, that much of a serious concern for him, at least currently. Okay. We're gonna be having some kind of decent fight here. I mean, like, hit points are full. Oh, but that's actually a lot more units here currently for Helsrevich. So at this point with the throwing X-Men, of course, even coming up here from Hels right next to the military buildings, it's gonna be immediate bad fight for Symptom. And with, of course, the Valkyrie pretty much dead, but still, until she's gonna be fully dead, she can do at least a bit of damage. And with Raiders, that's gonna be somewhat countered. If they're gonna be properly destroying the Valkyrie immediately, which they will, then they should be having some chance to actually really fight this. But again, it's gonna be causing the idle time that Symptom was apparently taking all the time. And he's probably gonna be more annoyed than anything else, because this is not going to be like a necessarily resign just now territory. But we can probably kind of feel that he's gonna be behind. 56 pop limit, Helsrevich is at 46. But actually, it's not that terrible. He's probably, at this point, I'm thinking, Symptom, that he's more behind than he in reality is. Oh, that's a shame, actually. That is quite a bit of a shame, though. Because looking at that, different pop limit, you can see army, sure. But if he's gonna be then combining into one, getting like myth spawn, possibly getting a troll. At this point, even a troll would be useful with low units. I'm kind of thinking this is actually quite a bit premature by Symptom to give up. No, nonetheless, Helsrevich is gonna be getting himself quite a bit of a easy win through the bravery of putting the front TC and trying to block the food here. So he was having a good idea about how to play the map, but yeah, I really can't shake the feeling that this shouldn't have been a resign yet. You can see even the potentially chickens here. Still the rhinos to the left side. Yeah, I'm fairly certain they should have still been played. No, well, unfortunately it wasn't for Symptoms and from Symptoms' point of view. Obviously won't be having any kind of upgrades here on anybody. And the villagers also not gonna be having anything but the hunting dogs. You can see literally 1 point of score above. Curiously, Mythology better for Helsrevich. I wonder if it's because of the ravens. Probably. But of course the food difference is gonna be on the significant side. Which reminds me, I wanted to look at difference in one of the previous games. I think in the previous match. But that's kinda already played through, I guess. I don't even remember where it was. So 403, 7... 800 resources more already by Helsrevich, just basically causing the idle time on the hunters. Very neat, 17, 16, 6, 8, no, yeah, legit. This still should have been played. Can understand Symptom being really quite a bit disappointed by the situation with the hunt and the progress so far, but he probably just perceived it really a lot worse than it truly was, which is a shame. GG. Because you can see right now, here on the military, having practically the same, and the difference being that we do have Symptom with, of course, some Hersers in there which are 3 pop, and this is just the number. So effectively pop-wise, as we have seen, there was like the 10 difference. Okay, no. GG.